Giving a minute here for a quick update. Heading back to the job site. We'll see if anyone is up on YouTube on this beautiful Wednesday, September 20th. I think it's the 20th. I guess I'm not sure. I don't remember. 15, 16, 17, 18. I think it was 19th yesterday, 20th today. Well, I may be off on my day. I don't know. The guys have been busy at work. I did do a couple of short videos on the job today. Got one uploaded. I don't remember what I released today. I'm a little behind. But going back to get the trailer pulled, they should be wrapping up. One of the things I was doing at this house that we're heading to is they had a little bit of a bat problem. So trying to get the, kind of get an idea on how many bats are actually coming in and out. Switch the camera here. How many people are actually coming, or not people, but the bats leaving. So I screwed up this little bat deal device. Apparently it's kind of a need in the area, in this neighborhood at least, in the HOA communication board, whatever, Nextdoor app, whatever. There's a lot of people questioning it. He was telling me what they are pricing for this. I'm like, wow, if there's a need, somebody needs to fill that need. So I was kind of considering it, because really, it took my 28-foot ladder and about 5 minutes to screw this little device up they got on Amazon. He said right about now is when they're going to be exiting. I was considering getting the trailer in the morning, but logistically, I really need to be heading that way in the morning with it, not going to go get it. So we're going to go grab it. We're going to see if we can see any bats leaving this thing. Just do a quick check over the job, get it pulled so it's not blocking the driveway. When you got neighborhoods that are a little bit nicer with HOAs and just clean, sometimes they don't want like vehicles in the street. You don't want to leave trailers and equipment. You don't want the place looking like a nuke went off. You know, you want to keep it clean, tidy. Get everything out of there in a timely manner. Just little things like that for the reputation. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just head up there. Wife got home, little one's fed, taken care of, cleaned up and all that. Chores around the house are done. So they're gonna go check the job over, pull it, observe the bats, head into the job. Figured I'd go live because I haven't done that in a while. The Friday night lives, it's really difficult with what I've got going on as a dad and a house and husband to go live unless it's super late. Maybe more of that this fall and winter due to the fact that I'm hoping to slow down and put the brakes on. It's been a very busy, productive, good year, 2023 here. So we're only a few minutes out, not very far, a couple more miles, I'll be there. And we'll see if we can still see. I tried something too. I brought my iPad, my work iPad. I was out at a gathering last weekend and some people with iPhones. The camera aperture settings are just phenomenal to see like the space shuttle and the stars and all that. So I'm gonna try it with my iPad. I have an Android phone, can't do that. So I figured I'd try that too while I'm out. I'm gonna not try to be out too late. My goal is to get it checked over, done, pulled home. So in the morning, bright and early, I can be heading over to the scales when the dump opens. Hopefully be the first to cross the scales. What's going up, Eric? How you doing, buddy? And get it dumped and then go. The other trailer's in transit as we speak to the next job. Something on my phone, or is it a glare from the light behind? That glare. Looks like a little white zit that's flipping around on me. Yeah, so that trailer's going to go to the next job for tomorrow. This one I'm going to tote home and get dumped in the morning. Probably put it on a trickle charge so it can do its thing and rejuice. Nothing worse than getting to the dump. It goes, it doesn't have enough lift. And ironically, the guys there have dealt with this a lot. Sometimes it's a heavy load forward from the piston and the jack where it lifts. It doesn't have the telescoping lift here. So it gets a little bit of a load sometimes when you're throwing off a 40-50 square up near the front. The guys come up there and they're like, just lift. I was like, no, you're fucking with me, right? They're like, no, I'm being dead serious. You just give that little extra oomph so that piston can lift and get that fulcrum point up a little bit and gravity to help. And I was like, no shit. I guess when you work in an industry for long enough, you learn little tips and tricks like that. I was like, man, I thought you were crazy. He's like, no, I'm being dead serious. So, swallow my nose. I don't know if I like this angle. A little rough too. How you doing, Eric? You've been doing all right, being pretty busy, staying busy. I'm honestly, I just keep telling myself, we're winding down. Yeah, exactly. I want to be done for the season and shift into the emergency work only. And new ladder, new truck. I don't like it. Smacking around, scratching stuff. I'm like, oh, ooh, ah. Little piece of ice and water stuck to the bed. And I was like, oh my God, I've only had this truck 4 days. And it's like, I took a wrong turn. I changed my route the other day and it took me across the gravel road. Oh my gosh. I think Google needs to incorporate in their maps. Labeling is a feature if you want it on. Even if you pay for it, I'd be fine with that. Notifies you, hey, rock gravel road. Do you confirm or do you want to alter your route? Because I'm driving 15, 20 mile an hour, rocks going ting, 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 ting. I'm like, please stop, don't hit. But yeah, I'm ready for the season to wind down. I keep thinking I'm getting close, and then another big slew of stuff comes in. So it's a good problem. Feast or famine, right? I guess I'd rather feast than famine. But you do have to balance that, and it is very, very hard. All right, let's flip the camera and see where we're pulling in here. Almost hit end. So it's a pretty nice little neighborhood here. Of course. We've done some work back here before, and some of them are pretty nice. I mean, it's a nice neighborhood, don't get me wrong. Actually, the outing I was at Saturday, we had a golf tournament, a memorial tournament, and had a blast. It's a once-a-year thing I do, and it was really fun, so it makes me want to get out here and play, because I actually did so good. I did not hit a house. I actually went down the fairway. We played my ball on scramble a few. I had some good putts, so yeah, I might maybe attempt a neighborhood golf course like this. What do you guys think about this view? I've got the new magnetic strips I've been using for the past year. I put it in, one for my dash, one up on the screen there, so I can click it and do forward and backwards as driving, and it holds a lot better than the other truck I have was. It's not near as bouncy, kind of takes the shock out of it. One of the roofs we did this year, a few months back, it was one where I had my nephew help, and still really busy. It's coming up on the right. We're basically across the street from that house. We'll be up on the left here. Everybody's dying out. 4 people, it looks like. There we are up on the left here. That house right there. Nice, not bad. And right up on the front there is where the bat area is. So we'll do a quick walk around live, and then I'm gonna get loaded up. This is I wouldn't call it a lesson, but I spaced it, and I didn't even figure the bay windowy gazebo, not bay window, the gazebo out there. But to me, switch that back. There's those things that you do that go way over and above. So the back issue they got up on this front of the gable under the soffit right there, he told me that he had a guy quoted and was going to charge, I think, like $1,500 to screw this little bat device up, give it a week or so with him observing, and then come back and take it down. I don't even think it included blocking it off. $1,500. Another guy said $1,800 to do that and check the others. Wow. It took me 5 minutes, and we're already here. I don't care if I have to drive out here, 15-minute drive to this neighborhood, because apparently it's the information's going around in this neighborhood. That's 15, 20 minutes here, 5 minutes throw the ladder up, screw it on, 20 minutes back, an hour. You figure maybe an hour a week later, come back and retrieve it, put a little piece of clay Terratone or clay trim, or even if you wanted to cut out a section or send it to a carpenter. That's not bad. I mean, that's more money than doing an emergency tarp job, and you're not walking up on a roof doing stuff like that. So what do you guys think? Do you think that could be a little lucrative deal? Put some really good ones. Yeah, we've had, God, I don't know. For a small company where I don't have salesmen, I'm the salesman, I'm the project manager, the estimator, the owner. I mean, I've got many hats and roles here, side of the crew doing the majority of the work. And most of the time, if I'm not busy, I'm with them or trying to document it. It's been a very productive year. But there's a lot of risk and liability and warranty. You know, like just in the last 4 months, I'm warranting over $1 million worth of roofing myself. So it can get kind of mind-blowing, honestly. So I'm going to do a quick walk around here. We're going to see what we can see here on the job site. What do you guys think of the new ride? 2023 F350. It came in, a company, a school corporation here bought it. And apparently they backed out, I heard. I've been looking for a while. Again, with the image, the brand, the reputation, the truck I've had, I've put it through the ringer. I've had it 3 or 4 years now, put 150,000 miles on it for a diesel. I mean, it's still going strong, but it's got little issues developing. And then those rocks I was talking about flipping up under the wheel well, starting to rust out. The clear coat's kind of popping off areas, just not looking good. And I don't want to have the image go downhill so much. It's like, oh, wow, you know, be embarrassing to pull up in that necessarily when you're doing estimates, things like that. Now, some of the other work vehicles, like this right there, they're beat up because we got tools going in and out daily, constantly in them. Then, whoops, too many flips. The white cargo van over here. They're really nice for being able to throw things in, lock them up, being secure, but they're a little more rough. But as far as the estimating truck and that kind of stuff, I want to have a good image, good brand reputation. Not getting bad. The other thing on that note, little tip. I've tried to learn over the years, when you need something, you typically are forced to pick something that comes along, it doesn't suit your needs perfectly. So you're going to usually overpay. Or the fact that if something goes down, you're out, you might be missing out on work due to down equipment. So fix it before it's broke, replace it before it's terrible, wait for a good deal to come along when you don't actually need it, and then get it. So just some little tips on that. It's been very good financially. The other third reason for this, on top of those, was I owed a lot in taxes. And business side of things that I can share with what I've known and learned, I've been unhappy with stuff and advice from accountants. They're typically just like everybody else that's gone to college, got a degree, they pump out the same shit. And my thing is, if you do what everybody does, you're going to get what everybody's got. So I went out, started studying since 2020. It's been a thing I study every damn night. YouTube with common sense goes a long way. No funded education, whatever. I've gone to accountants and said, hey, what about this? Like, oh, I never heard about that. And then they're looking into it. Like, why the hell do I need you then? Section 179, writing this off one lump sum to offset my capital or my adjustable gross income in the company, offsets my tax bill. On top of the financing side, which is outrageous right now, it's like 7.8, 7.79. You do the math on a typical 4 or 5 year note, it's going to be like $18,000 in taxes or interest payments. I'm like, okay, that's really not a smart financial decision. It's not an asset. It is in a sense it'll hold its value a little bit, but decline, it's not going to go up. And it's a liability because you're putting money into it, maintenance, oil change, diesel, brakes, tires, everything like that. But by using a Section 179 and not depreciating it over 5 years, it knocks it off. It lowers my adjustable gross income. And I estimated on top of, well, I wrote a check for it, so I didn't finance it. That saved at least $18,000 on top of that company buying it for liability and all that. You can't get a typical loan like in my name. It's the company, so it's going to be a commercial line. And I mean, interest rates were 11 to 13% on that. So like, hell no, wrote a check for it. And then by reducing the income, I've estimated federally it's going to save around 14 or 15,000. You can't save on your state or county, at least here in Indiana. I got to pay my state and county tax on it, so I'll owe a little bit there, and that's on top of the sales tax. Either way, I estimated it was around $30,000 in savings between the financing and the taxes that I would be handing the government, right? So if I'm just going to pay the government 15 grand on the value of the truck, I'd rather put it towards the truck. Still got the other one. Probably try to get my brother in it. Maybe say, hey, do you want to be a salesman kind of guy? Like, he's kind of mind blowing what I've been able to do versus what he's done over the last 4 years. Not this competition. He loves fishing, guys, commercial fishing license and doing that, but just not near what you can get in sales or building a brand. All right, we'll check out the outside of this real quick and then do a walk around because it's probably about bat time. And we'll see. And then I need to get it loaded up here. All right, there she be. 2023 F350 Super Duty XL base package, which is honestly what I wanted. Diesel engine, running boards, this is how it came. Best, just vinyl seats, easy to clean, work mats, easy to clean. And I got a rear view camera, no more over the shoulder, trying to pick a reference point to hook up the trailers, just back right up with this camera. It makes it so nice, it's amazing. And then of course I did a video, there's a bat, no, that was a bird. The other video I did the other day, just uploaded recently on a short, the ladder where the device locks to the next rung was cracking and it didn't feel right, both of them. So I'm like, okay, it's done, it's retired. And I needed the extra few feet to get up to there because I don't carry a big ladder on the truck I run estimates with. Of course, this one is 2 feet longer. Comes out, it's 4 foot additional by the time you use the 2 pieces, but it's just more liability hanging out the back of the truck. So I'll probably go back to the short one or a new short one after this. I also did pick up a 21 foot telescoping ladder with hooks on Amazon, I can't remember. Honestly, I ordered it, I forgot I ordered it, it showed up, my wife saw it, she put it in front of the Humvee. I didn't see it, took the Humvee out of the garage and ran the damn thing over. Well, it tipped over and went under it. But yeah, I can't wait to put that to use. It's going to be nice. That's primarily going to be in the Humvee, so I can get up to 21 foot with this thing in the Humvee. And I'm gonna check about a sleek ladder rack and see if I can get the clearance to get in my garage. I don't think I can, but we're gonna try it. And I've got to rework these because I'm wearing them down. So that's really the new work truck. This is the trailer I need to get juice in for the battery. How's it going? Doing good. I cannot zoom in. Have you seen anything come out yet? It's probably all the noise up there, but right under the soffit of the gable, there's a corner where the soffit comes up and the brick is a little loose. The bats were getting in right there. That's where the video earlier was. If you've seen it, I don't know if I even released it. Just doing a quick walk around real fast. Hey, I forgot about that gazebo back there. We're just gonna go ahead and do it. I didn't want you to be like, hey, why was this not done? I spaced it when I walked by. I didn't even see it because I was looking at those other areas. We may not have enough caps, so I'll have to be back tomorrow to finish that myself. Just got the metal on the chimney done. It was bad. It was actually leaking out the two sides because they didn't have the metal extended off the bottom. So all new step flashing. The aluminum coming out the bottom two corners are actually protruding out. You'll be able to see it if I can get the light right. I can't really zoom, so it's really hard to see, but it's gonna get past and come down. So all new. What's that? Yeah, the one to the left. We replaced this skylight here and then the front one. A few months back I did a video about a skylight had no flashing. It was over the garage section. This is the house. It's been a few months. He's getting the counter flash in right here. You'll see some of this. I did a video there. And here's the thing I didn't even see. I was up on that, completely spaced this. So we're just doing that out of my pocket. Hailstorm April 2023 in Illinois. Nice. So I think one of my New Year's resolutions for 2024 is I'm going to try to get more into the storm restoration stuff. It's not going to be my bread and butter, but I'm going to try to do more of that and try to put a little money towards advertising budget. I haven't done any advertising really ever. I tried year one. It's like, no, this isn't working. I think that probably might have been on our end as far as how we wrote the ads up, but it was like a pay-per-click. You're paying a ton of clicks and you're not getting any revenue from it. I was like, yeah, we're shutting this off. It added up really quick. What is on my nose? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. So that's on thing this year. Got a whole new set of shirts coming, updating that, tweaking the graphics just slightly. Some of the back end is kind of the point of the live update here. Business has been good. I want to put some of it into it. The only other little thing I could share, it's really loud out here. As far as business advice, some of the things I've shared, little nuggets here and there, it may not sound like much, but I promise if you use it and you keep to it, you'll look back after a little bit of time and be like, damn. Just little things like not eating out so much. Don't quit. Don't live frivolously. Like one of my brother, true story, he was trying to live so beyond it or below his means. He actually got a RAS to cut back on gas. This is back in like 2008 to 16 or somewhere around there. And he's driving that and he has an accident because a dog ran out and he hit it and wrecked. He broke his arm or something, ended up paying a lot more in medical bills than what he saved. So I'm not saying cut corners like that, but don't just throw away money frivolously. Pay your debts down, especially with interest rates so high. Put some money into your company, invest. Build a brand. Don't just provide a service, build a brand. It's like, read this book and he was referencing Windows. What do you think of? Like the computer software company, Windows, Bill Gates' company. You think of blue screens, freezes, illegal operations, and then you think of Apple. It's got a brand. It's really good. You don't have to worry about it. In business, if you're trying to cut your margins to get the next job, now building up from nothing, you're going to have to try to do that. But as you start building a brand, focus on the brand and your price and your quality. There's always going to be people out there. Reason being, you can only cut your corners so much. You got to buy the shingles or whatever you're doing. You're going to buy the materials you should need, I hope you're using for your region and your system. But when you cut your margins down to the bare minimum, there's very little slim margin for all the overhead expenses and upkeep and things. So if you think of the other side and you build a brand and those people out there are willing to pay for that. So you marry that with a good brand, a good quality service, advertising a little bit. I'm not saying that's bad or good. My personal goal is to add to it, but people are willing to pay that difference in the spread for somebody to be like, I want this done, worry-free. They're going to pay for it, or they're willing to pay for it. I'm not saying they're going to pay for it. They're willing to pay for it. So ask yourself, what side of the scale do you want to be on? A diminishing margins, you can't pay your bills, suppliers coming after you, you're robbing Peter, pay Paul, Mary, or do you want to have the ability and the funds and the means to be able, okay, I got a broken piece of equipment, my ladder snapped, my truck went out. I mean, do you have the working capital to just buy that? Do you have the working capital to fund like $50,000 in material? Now, some of you may be like, oh my God, that's so small. Again, I'm a small company, started from nothing. I didn't start as a salesman for a company. I started this, basically walked away from a job to start this and grown it, and got the capital to be able to fund all this. Not even needing credit card now. And it's not to brag, it's just you can sleep a lot better. I have the money. If I had a salesman selling work, I could fund him. I'm going to pay him. I'm going to keep him happy. And I'm going to pay my suppliers and keep them happy. And then as the money comes back in, I will get paid and I'll be happy. I'm not going to run a business like you hear about these stories where they're not paying their suppliers, they're running bills up, they're not paying their salesmen, they're living a high life. Half the shit they have is probably rented and they can't afford it. It's just not good. Back with the brand of the night. Whoopsie, it disappeared. Sorry, I'll have to try to read that back. I don't know where it's locked up. It's like froze. We'll screen switch. There we go. I don't know. My comments are gone. I hope it'll come back. All right, we're losing some light. I'm gonna go back out there. Just the compressors were running, so I was trying to avoid the noise there. Want to see if I see any bats flying around, and then want to get all this little bit of stuff loaded up out here. Corners are cut, mistakes happen. But I mean, you can prevent corners from being cut if you trust your guys. I guess, did I read that wrong? Mistakes happen. Oh, okay, yes, I did misread that. I didn't see the bottom part scroll up. You can minimize that by being on site. Yeah, so, but you can't be on site all the time. If a salesman is doing his job and he can be on site, that's great. I'm also the owner. I'm setting up jobs. I'm pulling jobs. I'm collecting checks. I'm going to the bank. I'm doing all that, so I can't be there 24/7. Now, my guy here that I've known not just known, but worked with like 14 years now, really good trust and relationship. And on that note, if you find a good guy, whether it's an employee or a sub, doesn't matter. If they're good and their word is gold and you trust them, keep them happy. I see this happen a lot too in my home area where they're just running through the term. Just one of my previous employers, when I was the foreman there, I think 1 month it was like 130 plus employees in a month. I'm like, this is just draining. They show up, they leave. They show up and leave at lunch and never come back. One guy says he's roofed for 20 years and he's great. 2 hours into it, he was scared on the roof and he said, can I go clean rubbish? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Another guy, he's like, oh, I've got plenty of experience and I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. Any new guy, keep an eye on, make sure they're trained right. It's easier to train a guy from knowing nothing than it is to break one bad habit. This guy's like, oh, I'm the best roofer, I've roofed great. I hear this shit all the time. He comes to work, we're on a 2-story 12-12, and I come over to him, I'm like, what's this? What's this? What? Oh, that's no problem. You see the seal strip, the nail and the seal strip, it seals it. It doesn't matter if you have a shingle groove above it. I'm like, no, that's not what you do. That's not what the seal strip is for. The seal strip is stick to shingle. I'm glad those days are gone. I have way more control now. And it's not that I have a control issue. It's the fact that if I don't like something, I change it. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If you do the same thing, you're going to get the same thing you got. Unfortunately, I've roofed for 22 years-ish. The former 10 years to me starting this, I was the foreman running up to 3 crews, and the guys and the owner didn't give a damn about anyone but his pocketbook. So, gone, and I have a much better life now. So, I could go on for hours. Maybe I should start a second channel. The road to financial freedom. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing I don't share, and actually I've had a couple of videos I've almost published, but they weren't totally done and uploaded. Like in my spare time looking at real estate, making offers on properties, One of my goals this year was to buy a home for my daughter. She's only 5. My plan is to get it and then have that be a graduation gift to her, you know? Not that she can just move into, but something she controls, manages, and funds her. Little things like that. Always looking for real estate, always looking for a good deal. When there's blood in the streets, you want to buy. When everybody's like, oh my God, this is great. Bitcoin 2021, 2022, to the moon, baby. Mailman's talking about it. TV shows talking about it. That's the time you want to start selling. Right now, everybody's talking about it being bad. Oh my God, it's coming down. So when you want to buy, you know what? BlackRock, a few years ago, oh, no clients looking at it. Now, BlackRock getting the ETF, spot Bitcoin ETF approved. Should be coming soon. Blood in the streets. Who's that guy way back in the day? I can't think of his name. He's in the copper market. You don't buy a lot of copper or whatever you want when said thing is that you think is going to do good. You sell it. You run it in the ground. You publish news stories. Then you buy it and accumulate it, and then you run it back up. I can't move a market like that. Actually, I did move the market in crypto once. I sold a shit ton of one coin really quick on the market as a, not a limit, but a market order. And you see this big red candle. Yeah, it's kind of fun when you play with stuff like that. So living within your means, still enjoy life, a good work-life balance. It's a little bit of an unfun road for a few years, but I'm telling you, life is so much easier when you're in control. I'll get out of this here in just a minute, but one other thing I want to share that is really cool when you actually get to experience it and live it. And when you're an employee, you have a paycheck, but you also have a very tight ceiling, right? They're not going to just go crazy and pay you way more than that unless you really got a good boss that sees your potential, you're doing good, and he wants to take care of you. But if your boss is happy with what you're doing, does he have an incentive to pay you a lot more unless you're leaving? I mean, it's kind of statistically proven. If you're like, hey, this isn't working out, I'm moving on for a better, greener grass, they're probably going to pay you a little more. If you're just happy and content, yeah, I'm working hard, making my boss happy, they're not usually just going to come out and be like, oh, hey. Sometimes yes. So with that ceiling, right? When you're an entrepreneur or business, the sky is the limit, yes, but that floor is also gone, all right? So if you take calculated risks and you do things right, you can mitigate how low that floor really goes. Hang on a second. Let me pull up out of his way, and I'll get back into there. I'm not used to looking at my camera here. I need to look down at the camera. When you get a little bit built up, you get a safety net, and you got enough safety net to cover the bills for, like, say 6 months. That's when things change. Then you can start doing a little bit more. I mean, honestly, I could quit working for years and be fine. I don't plan on to quit working, but I've got that financial safety net there. So I can go out and I can sell one job. For example, doing something simple like I want to teach my nieces and nephews sales. Simple. Like, you sell this gutter guard install or this gutter job or a roof or whatever, and I will pull the team together to make it happen. You're just going to be a salesman. And that's where I'm like, okay, you guys are young, your family, I can trust you. That safety net, I'm getting off track here, it's gone, but the upside, it's like asymmetric. Your upside is way greater than your downside loss. No different than if you're investing in some kind of stock or something. You want to find something that's got a better asymmetric, more upside than down. And you're going to lose some. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm down over $200,000 as of the last fiscal year. Lost over $22,000 in one bad investment last year. But the upside in what you can earn and make is worth it. I've got several side things I do. Some of you know I've got a product company and a patent and some things I've been working on. And it just takes one good smash hit. That's it. Game changer for life. Or if you can simply make a few people's lives improve tremendously or the masses a little bit. There's a really good book. MJ DeMarco is the author, The Millionaire Fastlane. Download that book, buy the book, read the hardcover, listen to it in your commute. It is a game changer. I personally listened to it about 4 times. Maybe that's a little playlist video I should do, is like my books that I like, and break them down, basically, like cover, the book title, and within 5 minutes, 5 bullet points. Good idea? I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'll consider it. I've tried mentioning my brother. He wants to do YouTube, and he's a big book fanatic, but he won't do the channel. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. But somebody told me you can lead a horse to water, and if he doesn't want to drink it, you can try to make him thirsty. Throw him a salt block out. I don't know. Let me know what you guys have a thought of. I do want to do more of the content, but as I said on the riff up there earlier, the priority for me is keeping Grand Riffing profitable and going in the right direction, and the crew and the families of the crew, and then at that point, the channel. And it's just a simple little thing to do is that does help the channel. It doesn't cost anything. I've lost subscribers. People have personally commented, said I'm unsubscribing because of it. It's like, you know what? It kind of bothers me, but I'm like, you know, I don't care. If you unsubscribe, fine. Bye. I don't really care. I do this for the people that do get benefit and knowledge out of it. I know there's a few of you in here, or at least that were in here, that could second that. Like, there's some things you can learn free on YouTube. Use your common sense and apply it, and I'm sure they've done it, and they can benefit, or they have personally benefited from that as well. So I don't know. I'm an open book. You guys got questions, ask. I'll do what I can to answer. Appreciate that, Caleb. I want to try to be a really good YouTube channel. I don't claim to be the best. I don't necessarily want to be the best. I want to share what I know, good, valuable information, I hope, to somebody out there. You know, when you look at money as a tool and not like try to chase the money, and you just genuinely provide a good service or a good product, the money will come back to you. I promise you. When I worked hard for the paycheck never grew. I quit, it quit. Just find a mentor. That's another thing. Somebody local in your area does what you do. It's nice. Take them to lunch. Take them to dinner. Buy their food. Don't necessarily ask them, what can you do for me? Go out of your way and just help them. When you can get a mentor like that, it's huge, okay? I have had several mentors over my life. One big one was a local guy in aviation. He helped me get my pilot's license at a young age. If he wouldn't have done some of the things he did to help me, I would not be where I am right now. There's been other mentors over my life they're just phenomenal. Passed away now, but mentors are huge. Books, continuing education, never quit learning. The day you say you know everything and you quit learning is the day you start failing. That's my opinion of that. I need to get busy. I told my wife it wasn't going to be long, and I do need to load up and get going here. So I hope you guys are all having a great day, great evening. Get out there and crush it. If you haven't, plan for next year. Get all your ducks in a row. Like things I'm doing this fall and this winter on top of my side projects and companies and patent ideas and things are going through my systems. I don't want this in 2 to 5 more years of being a glorified self-employed job, right? Having the company evaluated what it could be worth. And some of the things I see is if I'm going to sell my business and I don't go with it, or I don't write in the contract that I come with it for a year or two as an exit strategy for them to adopt and adapt to, the company's not worth much if I'm not part of it. So I'm trying to build out the plan, the systems, no different than like my spreadsheets. That's been huge for me. I don't go shoot from the hip on these estimates. I have a spreadsheet. I sketch everything. I know everything. I plug it all in. I know what my material is, my cost, my overhead, my down to how much diesel it costs to run the estimate, how much insurance, everything is figured in. Even to the point where I figure now a new line item for budgeting, insurance, and advertising, little line items like that. So it's on every job, and the jobs you do, it goes into a pool. When money comes in, don't think it's all yours and blow it. You've got to keep the company running. You've got to keep a pool of money for the company. You've got to have capital. That's why we're in such a liquidity crunch right now, nationally, globally. There's no liquidity right now. All these banks failing because they don't have the liquidity. So another thing with Bitcoin, not your keys, not your crypto, self-custodian, my crypto. I'm not loaning it to a bank to make very little minimal interest for them to loan it out, make a bunch more. And when I say, hey, I need my money, they're like, hey, sorry, don't have it. I've had banks say, hey, Mr. Mula, could you take less? Or we need to order bills because we don't have enough in the till to cover a mass withdrawal. I mean, it happened already this year. Happened to a few banks. There's more it's like on the brinks of. Frankfurt, Indiana, nice. I've done a little bit of work down in the Frankfurt area. There we go. Michigan town, Frankfurt. You guys just were spared. You'd have that funnel that came through back in April 1st, March 31st. I did a live not an April Fool's joke that day. It kind of funneled up from there and then skimmed over Kokomo. There's still people trying to go through the insurance process of that here in Kokomo right now. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you like, what kind of content you like. About time to shut the air compressor off. The roof's done. They're just doing a little gazebo-y thing. We're going to run out of cap because I didn't figure for that. How much more cap is over there?
What is it?
How much more cap?
One bundle.
One. So we'll be about half done on the...
Any lights?
Nah, just go ahead and stop. I'll finish it tomorrow. How many more sections?
It's roof.
Oh, it's the shingles are on, just the ridge, the cap. I'll finish it tomorrow. Just leave it. We'll shut the nailers down so kids can go to bed. So yeah, I need to get ready to get out here, guys. Appreciate it. It's been a decent little live on the job, 35, 36 minutes. If you know somebody trying to get a roof done, if you know somebody that had a roof done, and you think that, or you think they may have been taken advantage of, something I'm trying to get into when I have time is this time. If I have time, turn the light back on. I think if I push this, it stays on. I don't know, I'm still learning the truck. Where somebody sent me a message on Facebook, hey, my sister, I think, got taken advantage of. Would you mind? They send me a request. I will go out of my way if I can, to an extent. So it might be a late message. I don't check it constantly. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't not look good. If you can, send me some more photos closer up, and I will do what I can. So, like, free consulting online, if I can. I've done that to help people. Some people have even tipped doing it, and I do appreciate that. It's not necessary, but it's appreciated. There's just too many people going down the wrong path in this industry. It's plagued with bad salesmen. It's plagued with con artists. There's a guy here in town. There's some videos I did. I'm not going to name a name. At the time, I didn't know. I did find out later. It's not my job to go out and call them out. I want to educate and share what I know. But the videos I'm hoping will come out soon. I can't publish them yet due to timelines and constraints on a property that's being sold. So, long term down the road, if you guys are new to this live stream, maybe you've not seen some of my other stuff, what I want to try to do with the Humvee and military give back, document that a little bit more. The other thing is possibly do more free inspections to build up the content here. And if the channel is good, I can take a little bit more of a back seat, a step back, manage a little more, not so much hands-on, will allow me to be able to travel more and see more of the stuff and shed light to it. Kind of like Dmitry Lipinski with Roofing Insights, but not so much about the industry, material, things like heat covers, if you're not familiar with him, but more of the inspections of jobs that have gone bad and what can you do, what kind of remedies. Like little things like when you have a contractor that stiffs the supplier, for example here, that supplier has a timeline where if I don't pay, they can file a lien on the property of the home. At least here in Indiana, I know they can do that. It might be the same in other states. Doesn't mean they're going to get paid. It just means that Mr. Homeowner is going to get stuck on a bill from the supplier because the contractor stiffed them. Stuff like that happens. I don't think homeowners are aware of some of the horror stories and things that happens until it happens. So, anyway, all right, guys, I really got to get. I appreciate it. 38 minutes. Give her a big good thumbs up. As always, until next time, be safe. We'll see you on the next video.